So, you run a service business, right? Have you ever felt like you're just constantly fighting with your own software? Trying to force it to do things it was just never ever built for? Well, today we're going to dive into a solution that was designed from the ground up to fix that exact frustrating problem. Okay, let's just start with a question that might hit a little too close to home. Does your software make you jump through all these complicated hoops and setups that honestly have absolutely nothing to do with how you actually run your business day to day? If you're nodding along, trust me, you are not alone. The root of this entire issue is something we can call the inventory first problem. See, most business software out there is built with one core thing in mind: physical products, inventory. But what happens when your business doesn't sell physical things? What happens when you sell your time, your expertise, your services? So, who exactly are we talking about here? Just take a look. If you're in repair services, if you're a consultant, if you're in a creative field, or really any business where your main product is a service, not something you can put in a box, then yeah, this is for you. And this right here, this really gets to the heart of it. You're forced into these rigid processes, right? Creating item masters, setting up stock rules, all for a business model that's all about services and contracts. It's a system that just creates a ton of unnecessary complexity and extra work. So what's the alternative? Well, that's where BRS Software comes into the picture. It is built on a totally different philosophy, one that puts flexibility first and is actually designed for businesses that might not need inventory on day one or, ever. You can really see the two different worlds here, can't you? On one side, you have that old, heavy inventory-first approach, and on the other, you've got the BRS way. It's service-centric, it's flexible, and it's so streamlined, you can start sending out invoices pretty much instantly. And this quote, this really sums up the entire belief system behind it. Your software should adapt to your business, not force you to adapt to it. You can start super simple and then add complexity, like inventory, down the road, but only if you actually need it. Okay, so how does this actually work, like in the real world? Let's break down just how simple it is to get your very first invoice out the door. No, seriously, that's it. Forget about item masters, warehouses, all that noise. To get started, all the system needs from you is two things. One, at least one customer, and you can even use a generic cash sale customer. And two, a tax rule. That's the whole setup. All right, here are the 3 steps. First, you add a customer. Easy enough. Second, you set up your tax rule, which is pretty much a one and done kind of thing. And then third, you just create the invoice. You type in what you did, like computer repair, pop in the quantity and rates, pick that tax rule you just made, and that's it. You're done. So creating that first invoice is incredibly easy. But the real power, the real magic of this whole approach, well, that starts to show up over time, beginning with your very next bill. Let's just let that sink in for a second. The entire point is to remove the friction. Getting from setup to sending that very first invoice should be the easiest thing you do all day, not another complicated chore. The whole system is designed to be, well, this simple. Okay, now this is where things get really, really clever. The simplicity of that first invoice is great, for sure, but the system is also designed to be smart. So what happens when you need to bill for that same service a second time? And here it is. This is the real payoff. The second time you start typing computer repair, the system remembers everything else: the unit, any service codes, the right tax formula. It's all filled in for you. All you have to do is enter the quantity and the rate. Think about the time that saves and the errors it prevents on every single bill you send after that. And what's so great is that even this minimal service-focused data is incredibly powerful. It all gets transformed into billing intelligence, financial summaries, and real business analysis. It gives you these clear, actionable insights without you ever having to mess with a complex inventory system. So if this is all sounding like the kind of solution you've been searching for your business, here's how you can take the next step and learn more. The main takeaway here is that the team is ready and waiting to connect. You can shoot them an email, check out the website, or even send a quick message on WhatsApp. Just follow the details you see here. They're ready to help you out. I'm just going to leave you with this final thought. Just imagine all the time, all the energy you could pour back into your actual business, serving your clients, growing your company, if your software just simply got out of the way. What could you achieve then?